start this episode with an apology for not having an episode last week. Last week, I had an outpatient medical procedure or surgery, whatever you want to call it, and Brandon had a terrible case of strep throat. We tried to
I slept all week.
Yep, we tried. It ended up being sleep deprived and pain ridden ranting about an hour. So we were like, that's trash. We don't want to do that.
I'm not putting that out.
Yep. So I have tried to keep my night shift schedule.
Do I actually look like that from the side?
Yeah, you do. I've tried to keep my night shift schedule.
Somebody should have warned me.
Yeah, dude, you're bald. So I'm a little bit tired. Because while trying to keep a night shift schedule, I also woke up at 7 o'clock this morning after going to sleep at 4 a.m. So I'm tired, but we're going to do this because it's important.
Yeah, we are.
Brandon, how's your week been?
Can't complain. It's been, my wife's now got what I had last week, so we've just been swapping sicknesses as you do as a married couple.
Yep. If you had kids in there, it just gets worse.
We can't go around kids. If we even go to like someone's house that has children, we're sick. Immediately.
We're not sponsored by Waterloo, but it's fantastic. But so yeah, my week's been, I've been off for a week and a half, kind of going crazy.
You played a lot of video games?
I've played a lot of video games.
What are you playing?
I play New World. They came out with some new story. I know. And Battlefield. What about you?
Well, of course, I've been playing. That didn't look any better. Of course, I've been playing Destiny and Borderlands with the boys. And the other night, one of the young guys I work with invited me to play the Halo Master Collection. We played Reach, and we played a lot of like the mini games and stuff.
Yeah.
Man, we missed out as a kid. We should have had an Xbox.
Well, hey, we played Halo, you and me, when we were adult.
Yeah. Well, this is like Mario Party, but in Halo.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you and me just kind of played through the campaign.
Yeah, no. This is dope.
So this week, we were supposed to talk about it last week, but this week we are talking about social media and how
Dun dun
dun
dun
dun
dun dun dun dun.
cue like the Imperial March. So last week when I was in pain and Brandon was sick, I ranted about how much I hate social media. Brandon was very collected, just very much so talking like this. Oh, so when talking about social media, we're going to break it down into a couple categories. We're going to talk about kids, adults, mental health. We're going to give our own thoughts. We're going to see what the word of God says about social media. And you might say, well, hey, there wasn't social media back then. No, but the word talks about keeping our eyes on heaven and on godly things and stuff like that. So we'll dive into that. Brandon, you got any thoughts you want to share before we get into our stuff? Go ahead.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Let's
Let's do it.
All right. So before we dive in, I just want to say that social media in and of itself, I don't think is the problem. It's just like our dad used to say about, our dad used to tell us about guns that when we were kids, that they're tools and they can be used for good or harm. The real issue isn't the tool, it's the heart behind the person using it.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest, I've misused social media myself. I've argued with strangers online, shared things I shouldn't have, and fueled hate instead of hope. It wasn't until, and I think I've told you this story before, but it wasn't until one day I was gaming, was playing Apex Legends. Thank you, Aaron and Michael, for getting me into Apex there for a while.
You're welcome.
But while I was playing Apex, I queued up with a young kid one time, and when his voice came through the microphone, I was like, I don't ever want to be the reason that somebody's kid has to go ask their parents something.
Yes.
And it completely changed the way I looked at my online presence. Because you never know who's watching, you never know who you're talking to.
Yeah, so like with my son plays a lot of Fortnite and he's 8. Now we monitor what he does in Fortnite. We don't let him play like all the random stuff in there.
Yeah, of course.
You have to like, and I include gaming in social media because it does have the social aspect in it. Fortnite, they had a huge season about like where the main theme was Juice WRLD, and my son got exposed to Juice WRLD's music. Now Juice WRLD has some catchy raps, But then when you start reading the lyrics, it's talking about popping Percocets, it's talking about doing drugs, it's talking about sex. And it's like, why is this in a game that, yes, Fortnite has a age 13 requirement for an Epic account. But with that said, my son's Xbox is a kid's account and he was still able to download Fortnite. So
Yeah. Plus, they know who their audience is.
they know that kids are playing Fortnite. And then you've got, I think it was Sabrina Carpenter, as a huge person in
I
Fortnite.
can say so many things.
Snoop Dogg. And I mean,
I remember the Snoop Dogg one because was running around doing his little
like
dance and stuff.
Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot.
I love Snoop, but I don't love the messages. So I guess I don't love Snoop. He's got some catchy songs, but I mean, what's the heart behind those songs?
Yeah.
And like you said, guns aren't evil. It's the person who's pulling the trigger. So what's the heart behind the person pulling the trigger? What's the heart behind the person on social media? And that's kind of where I'm at with it is the one I'm going to talk about as a parent, what I think our kids, like how we need to monitor, or if you're even allowing your kid to have a social media presence. And then two, as adults, what are we gaining from social media? That, I mean, I see a lot of these 90s nostalgia videos on social media, and it's like,
those get me every time.
Dude, and like there's one that always has you can go back, but it's empty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but that video makes me happy because that was before everything. I mean, yeah. So
some of those videos, man, they take you back, and you end up just scrolling through all of them.
Yeah. And
remembering your childhood,
like
and
the Christmas parties at school, and
the family was all still around, everybody still got together.
Yep. And now it's different. Like you go to family gatherings, it just feels different now. I don't know if that's because we're adults, or if that's because our family is like kind of messed up, or
well, I think most families are anymore.
Yeah. And it's these
right
here.
It's this stuff right here. I mean, people fight over. It used to be families would argue over Thanksgiving about politics. Now they just block each other and hate each other on social media, and they won't even go around each other.
Yep. They don't even want to speak to you because your politics differ from theirs, and they saw it on social media, or you shared a post that they disagree with, and now they hate you because they disagree with you. And it's like, man, what are we doing? Like, where have we lost ourselves in this online presence? And it goes back to the heart. It goes back to, like, we're not seeking God the way that families used to seek God. And if we want to combat this, parents, I think we need to, we got to start with our kids, because we can try as adults to change our social media presence. Me and Brandon, I think, have both done a really good job at that.
Mine is nothing compared to what it used to be.
No, there's an app I'm going to talk about later that I downloaded on my phone. I guess I can talk about it now, but I downloaded an app called Screen Zen. I don't know if it's on Android. It is on Apple, but it's got some parameters you can set up. It's free, completely free. You can donate money to them if you want to. I have not, but I was able to.
We do have it on Android, by the way.
So it's on Apple and Android, so there's no excuse not to use it. And you can go into, there's an option, I forget what it's called. I sent it to you, Brandon. Let me pull it up. I sent it to Brandon. There's an option. You make a group of apps, and then you go down to interventions, and you can set a replacement app on that interventions. And my replacement app is the Bible app. So before I am able to access social media, I have to open the Bible app and spend time in it. And what I've found that does is it takes that FOMO of whatever's on social media and turns me to God's word. So I think that's phenomenal. I recommend it to everybody who's listening to this podcast. They obviously don't endorse us. We're a small podcast. But it has been awesome for diving into God's word more, because instead of going to social media, I go straight into the Bible. And then most of the time after I read a chapter of the Bible, I'm not interested in social media anymore. But so let's talk about kids. And as a dad, I got 2 kids. I've talked about it. Sometimes they watch me do the podcast. Kids are growing up today with their phones literally glued, not literally, but figuratively, literally glued to their hands. And the numbers behind the rise of social media and the rise of like child suicide rates is insane.
Yeah. It's funny because they showed us at church, I think last 2-3 weeks ago, they showed like the correlation between the spikes along with Facebook,
Yes.
the first selfie camera. They pretty much just always they line up.
It's almost like when we turn our eyes back onto the flesh,
Mm-hmm.
then we get super depressed because the flesh always fails and it's never enough. And so
Yep.
suicide rates in kids for people ages 10 to 24 since 2007 to 2021 was when the study was done, shot up 62%. That's
Holy crap.
0.8 out of 100,000 people to 11 out of 100,000 people are committing suicide since the rise of social media in 2007. And heavy social media use, and I encourage you to go and look at your screen time on your phone and see how much time you're actually spending on social media. But heavy social media use, which is categorized as over 3 hours a day, doubles the risk of depression and anxiety. And
Holy cow.
we didn't have this growing up.
No.
We had war games with the neighbors. We built forts in the woods. Crocodile Creek, dude. There's a creek in the backyard. There's like
yeah, creek.
I think there was water.
A tree that it fell over. There wasn't even water.
Yeah, there's a tree that fell over like a little ditch, and and a rock that looked like a crocodile head, and it was Crocodile Creek in the woods.
Yeah,
and man, we explored those woods for probably 8 years.
Dude, I remember being a teenager when I first had my first grocery job, and one of our listeners, he's going to remember this too. When we'd get off work late at night, we would all sit in the back of one of the guys' pickup trucks, and nobody was on their cell phones. We just talked.
Yep, just talked. And now, you get together with people. The guys on shift, we all went out and ate the other night. And I try not to do this when we're eating.
Yeah.
Man, I've got myself blocked because I don't want to see myself, but I do look tired. Wow.
You look exhausted.
But we sitting there and I'm eating and I'm having conversation. And then I was like, nobody responded to that. And I look up and there's 5 guys sitting there with me and they're all like this.
Mhm.
They all have their phones like right up to their face.
Yeah.
So I texted our group chat. I was like, look at me. And they're all
and they all looked up.
Oh, hey man. And I was like, yeah, hey dude, we're having a conversation. Like, get off your phone. And like, I'm the old guy on shift. Like me and one other dude, we're the only guys over 30.
Dude, it's so weird being the old guy on shift now.
I know.
Yeah, most of the people I work with are in their early 20s, and you'll hear them say things sometimes like, kids these days, and I'm like, brother, you're a kid.
What are you talking
like, what do you
about?
mean? You don't even look like you're old enough to graduate high school yet.
There's one guy I work with, he's 29, but the other day I was like, dude, you're such a kid. He's like, man, I'm about to be 30, and I'm like, you're still a kid.
Yeah, like you don't know anything.
You don't know anything. Like you'll figure it out. You got a couple more years.
And I mean, I thought I knew everything at that age too. So
yep. But and none of that stuff that we did when we were kids, it wasn't for likes, it wasn't for attention. We didn't post it. Now a kid can't even go outside without their parents taking a picture and putting it online. And then what's that teaching?
First day of school. Here's my sign with my school on it.
Yeah, with my school, my grade, my teacher, my favorite hobbies, and all this stuff. And
telling the world.
Yeah, telling the world exactly how to kidnap me.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
And then think about this. Think about how, before we became aware of our social media presence, think about how mean you were to people, I was to people, and the people were to us. And then now think about this. Our kids who have social media are dealing with that tenfold.
Mm-hmm.
In 2021, 42% of teens were heavy users. And that number is also frequently tied to more bullying. The more active a kid is on social media, the more likely they are to be bullied, which then ties into suicidal thoughts, especially for girls.
Yeah.
And, most parents agree. 44% say social media is the top negative influence on their kids' mental health. And so we got to set boundaries. We got to talk about it. We have to show our kids what real life is, who God is, and what a real social interaction with another human being is. Because otherwise they're going to think, well, mom sits on the couch like this, dad sits on the couch like this looking at their phone. So that's what I should do. So I need a tablet now. I need something to scroll like mom and dad are doing. And then, that's how we see this rise. And I think that's why we are seeing this rise of suicide and depression and kids who are getting put on drugs and kids. Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot of research into it, but I mean, this whole gender identity thing didn't become prevalent until social media blew up and it became a political talking point. And once gender identity became a political talking point, now everybody wants to cut off their genitalia. And I mean, that may be,
There is one good thing on that though. Gen Z, I saw a study the other day. Gen Z is, when they did a poll of them, had like, I can't remember what the percentage of them said they claimed to be homosexual, but I think it was like less than 7%. It was one of the lowest percentages that we've had in years.
and, and we stand on God's truth on the Spivey Show. So we believe what God's word says about that. And we talked about it on the Role of Man. We won't dive into it too much on social media, but we as parents, as Christians, have to protect our kids and ourselves from this crazy ideology that is being spewed out on social media. And it's not just gender identity issues, it's mental health issues. The being depressed and even, I remember being in high school and like the Tumblr kids, it was almost like
Tumblr. I forgot about that. Oh my Lord.
It was almost like a breeding ground for depression because that's all.
Man, they allowed anything on there.
And that's all people talked about on Tumblr was being depressed. So it's like,
yeah,
well, if all my friends are depressed, then I'm depressed.
I'm going to be depressed too.
Yeah, or you're raging full of hormones and your body's trying to catch up to itself.
Yeah.
And we already kind of talked about it, but Brandon, I mean, you're seeing this at work too. Like the younger somebody I work with is, the larger likelihood, one, that they're on their phone more, and two, that they have some mental health stuff going on.
Yes.
And that's not casting shade on mental health. Listen, I take anxiety medicine. It is what it is. It runs in our family. I have really bad anxiety. I had to do something about it because it was leading to suicidal thoughts, and I had to do something. So between church and medicine, I found a balance, and it is what it is. So I'm not hating on taking medicine, but our bodies,
it's
good.
I was just gonna say, talking about like the young people I work with, everything that, like, every other thing that comes out of their mouth is some meme they saw online.
Yes.
They don't. It's not all young people. I don't want to say it's all young people, but
it's older people too.
Yeah, you see people's identities and their thoughts and become completely tied to their favorite like streamer or content creator or TikToker meme. Yeah, and it's used to, the joke was you turn 30 and you become like a barbecue or a hot rod guy. Now you just become a meme.
Yeah, you get stuck into like this, like it's like we're trying to bring the social media presence into real life. But then when you're not on social media that much and you don't understand the references, it's like, dude, you're like, that's weird. Like, why are you like, why?
What do you mean you haven't heard of that?
Like, because I don't spend my life on my phone. I have hobbies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do other things.
And, talking about kids, like, what's the Bible say? Bible says, Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. So tying that right back into what I said a few minutes ago before we kind of got sidetracked is it's up to us as parents to train up our child in the way he should go. Well, think about that. Let's go tie it into sports. How does a coach teach a player how to play? He shows them how to play. How do we as parents teach our kids how to live? We show them how to live. I can tell my son how to swing a bat 100 times and he won't get it, but I show him how to swing a bat and he has it. Show him how to field a weird ground ball, he has it. Show him how to do something. We just got Pokemon ZA. Show him how to do something in that, and he knows how to do it. So we have to guide our kids and guide ourselves through all of this digital nonsense and point ourselves and our children to God's word. Brandon, what are you seeing with adults?
Before we move on to adults, there's one thing I just want to throw in there. Yeah. I've mentioned him on the show before, but one of my favorite podcasters is John Deloney. He does a lot of mental health stuff. But I remember him talking to a parent one time about social media, and he's like, I know. We want our kids to be cool, and we want them to feel included, so we get them social media. It's like, you're not handing your kid a phone so that they can connect with friends and stuff. You're giving the world access to your child is what you're actually doing.
Yes. And when you word it like that, you're not giving your kid access to the world. You're giving the world access to your kid. So are you equipped at 10 years old to have access for the world to have access to you? Furthermore, are you equipped at 33 for the world to have access to you?
No,
No, we're not.
no, I'm 100% not. And one last thing before we move on to the adults, you said you were talking about how you have a feeling that all this gender identity stuff might have something to do with social media. I don't think you're too off base there, because when I was doing some research for this is a John Hopkins medicine article I was reading, and they talked about one of the positives of teenagers having access to social media was that they could, find support for affirming their identities.
For kids.
I don't know. You're a parent. I'm not a parent, but I wouldn't want
You're
some
an
stranger
uncle.
online. Yeah, I'm an uncle, and I wouldn't want some weirdo online telling my nephew or my niece, yeah, it's okay to be whatever you want to be.
Yeah. While we're on that topic, it's crazy because if I go to work or the store or whatever, and I'm like, hey, I'm depressed, I have anxiety, my brain's not working right, I'm hearing voices, oh, you need medicine. Hey, I think I'm a girl and I want to cut my wiener off. Oh, high five, dude. It's so great that you
Way
finally
to
did that.
go!
Like, what? What
You
are we?
know,
Where
like,
is it?
why?
Or a better example. If I walk into work, I'm like, hey, I don't like my left hand anymore. I want two right hands, and we'll cut this hand off and get it sewn on backwards. Everybody's gonna think I'm crazy.
Yeah, your coworkers are gonna look at you like you lost your mind.
Yeah, but if I say, hey, I want to have gender changing surgery, all of a sudden it's great, and it's like, no, like you like, and then social media supporting that, and it's like, no, you
Yep.
are permanently changing your body for a mental issue you're having. And that's not casting shade on a mental issue, but gender dysphoria is a thing. But
And I think it's the go ahead.
No,
Sorry
go ahead,
to finish.
No, you're good.
I think it's the biggest lie being sold, because it's like, be your true self by suppressing all of your hormones, changing every part of your body, and changing your voice and pretending to be someone that you're not.
Yep.
How is that being your true self?
How different are you right now than you were when you were 15?
Oh my goodness. I change all the time, and I'm going to be different in 10 years from now. I mean, we're constantly changing.
That video I sent Brandon a video of a mom holding her son down while her son got hormones changing him to a girl. And
how old was the son?
Like 12.
He was young.
Like 12.
Yeah, he was young.
And the mom said, I don't think she could handle male puberty. And the first thought that popped in my head was, you're right. She can't, but he could.
My thing is, you don't think he can handle male puberty, but you're going to put him through all of this.
Yeah. And
like, what?
Like, what are we doing? And then that doctor should be in prison.
I think the parent and the doctor should both. That child needs to be taken into protective services.
If I were to shoot my kid up with heroin, I would go to prison.
Yeah. But you can change their gender. That's fine.
Yeah, because a 12-year-old knows what they want to do. Anyways.
Isn't there like certain states and stuff that if your kid's like a certain age, they don't even have to tell their parents if they're struggling with certain things? I'm almost positive I've read something about this.
Kids aren't going to tell you that they're struggling with stuff anyways if you haven't created an open environment for them to. But I do think you're right. I haven't done a whole lot of research on it, but we'll dive into it.
Yeah,
maybe
we'll
another day.
Look into that one day.
So adults.
I guess we should move on to adults.
Yeah, because I could go on all day about kids.
Yeah, you could do an entire episode just dedicated to kids.
Yes,
but
so go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
So as adults, like we've said it a bunch, but like we're not off the hook on the social media stuff either. Before I downloaded this app, I probably spent 4 to 5 hours a day on social media, and now, dude, I know, and wow. And I mean, I have a lot of downtime in like working night shift. I have a lot of downtime, and it's not an excuse. I could be doing other things, reading a book, perfecting my craft. But the same studies that were done on kids, they did the same versions for adults, and depression, anxiety, and stress across all ages goes up with increased social media use. And
Yep.
40% say heavy social media use makes their depression, stress, and anxiety worse. You know, and in the past, like when I get myself or I catch myself scrolling Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, I don't think I'm getting caught into the comparison trap, but I get this like numbness, like at the forefront of my head. Does that make sense? Like this,
Oh, it 100% does, because I know what you're talking about.
mind
It's like a
numbing
haze.
haze of just scroll, scroll, scroll. And then like I get like my body feels weak. I feel depressed. I start having crazy thoughts.
I'll all of a sudden be depressed over stuff that I was over, and it happened years ago, and all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, that happened to me one time. I
Yep.
get it, brother.
I get it, man. It happened to me.
Yeah.
Now I'm sad about it, even though my life's perfect now.
Yeah.
And, it's also music. Like my wife's a
Yeah.
Swiftie, so I'm gonna take a shot at some Swifties. But like my wife sent me a meme.
Shake it off.
My wife sent me a meme and was like, and it said, before this most recent album came out, and it was like me, a woman who's in a good marriage, but pretending like my husband's bad to me, so I can relate to Taylor Swift's music. And it's like that's just sad. Like, what?
Dude, it's like I work with a girl who all the time she's in a very supposedly happy relationship, but I always hear her make the joke, all men are dogs. It's like, but I thought you were happy with your man. Like, is your man a dog
Is your
too?
husband a
Like,
dog? Does he bark?
like, why do we do this?
Yeah, and it's yeah. I don't know.
And I mean, guys do it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a dude coworker. Anyway,
It's like, why are you married?
Yeah,
but
it's like, why?
That's the problem with not having God at the center of your marriage or at the center of your life before you get married. Marriage is a Judeo-Christian idea. In case you didn't know that.
No way.
What?
What? No way.
And if you're listening to this and you're not a Christian, I encourage you to read where marriage came from. It came from Jewish culture.
It's very important too. I mean, you think about Jesus' first miracle, where it was performed.
A wedding. And his big act in Revelation is bringing his church, also known as his bride, back to him. We're just going everywhere. That's fine though. That's fine, because
that's how we roll.
That is how we roll. We've talked about it, but suicide rates in adults is going up.
Yep.
And it's continued to rise since the creation of social media. And I think social media here is not the bad guy, but it's the lack of human connection that's the bad guy here. Because we substitute human interaction with another human face to face, human touch with another human, body to body in a marriage or a brotherly hug. And we substitute that with comments, likes, relationships with people online, like whether that's a friendship or a romantic relationship or an AI relationship or friendship.
Some of those AI relationships are.
I decided to play with that today. Did
you do the other half AI? That one's spooky.
Did a social experiment for the podcast.
Sure.
Did, and then I deleted the app because it was weird.
No, I'm just kidding. I've played around with them too, because it's just, I was curious.
And it's like, you can see the appeal there because the AI talks to you friendly. So you can get them to talk to you in a way
any accent you want,
a way that only married people should talk. And it's like, why is this a thing? Like, if you are in a place, listeners, if you are in a place where you find yourself connecting with an AI in a romantic or a friend or a friendship way, reach out to me or Brandon, and I will do my best to find you a single woman in your area. Or we will be and if you're looking for a friend, we will be your friend.
We'll be your friend.
We will be your friend.
Yeah.
Do not communicate with an AI seeking a relationship.
I can see how easy it happens though, because like, I don't have a romantic relationship with my AI, but I use Copilot probably more than I should. And I use it for like recipes. And sometimes when I'm coming up with scripts for gaming, I'll like, hey, can you check my grammar and stuff? Because we all know I can't write. And when I go on there now, if I throw in an idea, it'll say, hey, do you want to sculpt this into some sort of thing for your like your podcast or your cooking? It learns who I am.
Yes.
And every time it responds, it tries to it doesn't matter what it is. If it's a recipe, it's like, how do you want to spin this recipe so that it can be like a fire forged Iron Lord getting ready to do some kind of biblical podcast? And I'm like,
what?
Why?
I just need a potato recipe, man.
I just want to cook chicken. But I'm like, I mean, like yeah, it's insane.
And AI and social media kind of go hand in hand too. Like AI is a good tool.
It's a great tool.
When I can't figure out how to word something for the podcast, or like I'm having trouble getting my thoughts in order. Like you can put your thoughts into AI and like that you can bounce off like ideas, or when you're looking for, and not in a relationship way, but just a strict information way, it's a good tool. Overuse of it leads to lack of critical thinking. Overuse of social media leads to lack of critical thinking. And then, like, what does God's word say? Ecclesiastes 4:4 says, "Then I saw that all toil and all skill in work come from a man's envy of his neighbor. This also is vanity and a striving after wind." Social media is a striving after wind. And like literally most of it is envy for what somebody else has, or trying to get the same amount of likes, comments, shares, views. And it's a tough road to walk here with a podcast, and like trying to have a social media presence for the podcast, but then also trying to be abstinent from social media for the majority of the day, because we don't want this to be striving in the wind. This is not about Brandon. This is not about Aaron. This is about spreading God's word and trying to help our listeners and our friends through challenges that you face in an American lifestyle with a Christian identity. I lost where I was going with that, but I think that's a good place to turn it over to you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we get back on a little bit of track here because I was supposed to talk about adults, which I guess we really have, but I also wanted to talk about, during COVID, social media and stuff was through the roof. And one of the articles I was reading, it was a study done in 2022. It was called like the COVID Project or something like that. But it was Harvard Magazine's where I was reading about it. But they tracked over 5,000 adults starting at the beginning of COVID who did not show signs of any kind of depression. And then after months of heavy social media use, their symptoms spiked. And I think something else that became interesting about it, though, is that because the guy who was doing the study was talking about how there needs to be more information. They need to do more studies on this, that this is something that should have already been going on. Because they found that Facebook hits younger adults harder. I think it was under 35, while TikTok and Snapchat drag down older people. And I mean, really, regardless of your age, when you're sitting there just scrolling, it's still in your joy.
Yep.
And I mean,
it's still in your time.
It's still in your time. You fall into the comparison traps. You see your friend, because I mean, you think about what people post: their new car, their vacations. It's always, look at what I just did. Look at what I just got. I just got this promotion at work. Brothers and sisters, we're all going through different seasons, and it's easy to fall into that comparison trap. Looking, especially like, I know I was divorced at 24, and I remember looking around, and most of my friends were on their second or third baby, or these big promotions, and I remember sitting there thinking, I'm divorced.
I mean,
I am so far behind the curve.
And because it was our situation, and at the same time, like when you got divorced, Kayla and I were having we were having Jax. And
yeah, that was a weird moment for me.
And if you're trapped in that comparison trap that social media gets you trapped into, that's going to lead to depression and suicidal thoughts and anxieties about, well, I should be here in my life. I mean, my brother-in-law is 29. He's in a serious relationship, but he has a very small social media presence. He, by the world standards, not a successful person, but by his standards, because he doesn't care what other people think, He's happy. He's successful. He's off of his anxiety and depression medication because he has found himself in a happy situation in where he's at in life. Not all of us, I mean, me and Brandon included, are going to make gigantic amount of money in our life. We're not going to have gigantic mansions. I mean, I'm blessed to have the house that I have, but if I compared it to other friends' houses or I mean, things go away. We could lose this house tomorrow. My wife, we were in a situation where we were able to buy her a nice car. It got wrecked yesterday. When you tie your identity to material things, and social media is material, it goes away. I mean, think about, because I know a large part of our audience are gamers. Think about your streamers that you used to watch. A lot of them have gone away.
Yeah. And yeah, I look at like some of the, because I'm a big Destiny nerd. I look at some of the Destiny streamers, and man, you're watching some of them just become so bitter.
Yep.
Because the game's dying.
And their identity is the game.
Yeah. And they are becoming extremely bitter towards people.
What happens to old people who don't have their identity in Christ?
Yeah.
They become bitter. So when your identity isn't something dying and it's dying, you are aging you're aging your brain.
Look at people who retire. So many of them talk about how they feel like they're so useless now.
Yep. And it's like, no, our dad, for instance, when he gets depressed or whatever, and he gets to feeling like that because he's medically retired. But then perspective is important, and perspective is important with social media. And our next point is depression and suicide. So we've kind of been on it the whole episode, but but when he hones that in and he says, you know what? I get to see my 2 grandchildren every day. I get to help my granddaughter do her preschool because we homeschool. He helps our son with some of his math and reading and stuff. And that's perspective.
I just thought about something.
Go ahead.
Another thing with the comparison, we don't only compare positives. Sometimes we compare grief. I saw a lady the other day talk about how upsetting it was seeing Erica Kirk forgive the shooter on national TV, and she said it does such a disservice to those of us who have also lost our husbands because we can't just move on so quickly. So people start comparing their grief and how quick they see other people move on. It really just becomes comparison of everything, not just joy.
Well, yeah, and then that reminds me of in churches, you're like, all right, well, I do this, but that person on that pew over there, boy, howdy. I know what they do at home or what they do on the weekends, and it ain't nowhere near as bad as what I do on the weekends, so it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And that comparison right there is so dangerous.
Yeah.
Because, what did Jesus say? Take the log out of your eye before you pluck the splinter out of somebody else's.
Yep. That's a thing. We used to see that back when we were kids too in the church and stuff. People, I don't sin like that guy does.
NF has I
love NF.
I do too. And he has a song that he says, church is where I learned about God, but it's also where I learned to judge.
Yeah.
And find a good church. Just free plug. Find a good church.
It's not, it's frustrating too, because I hear so many people who talk about the reason they don't want to go to church is because they went to one bad one. You're going to go to some bad ones, trust me. Me and Aaron has been in all sorts of churches. We've been in good, we've been in bad.
We've been in ones that were good, and then something happened.
Changed the carpet.
Or we won't go down a rabbit hole here.
Yeah.
But there are good churches out there, and just because one church doesn't fit you, you can go to 5 Baptist churches and they all be different. We don't go to a Baptist church. Our church is Congregational Holiness, but you would never know that stepping in it.
I was going to say ours is Baptist, but you would never know it stepping in it.
Yep.
It's one of the things that I've always found, I think I remember hearing a pastor talk about this one time. You'll know a healthy church when you see it by looking at the people in it.
Yep.
There's a huge mix of people. There's different races. There's different ages. It grows over time.
If you have people being born and people dying, inside a church. That's a healthy church. So let's get back on topic. Social media.
Well, we gotta go down another rabbit hole.
Yeah. So with suicide and depression in mind, I already mentioned it, but if you spend over 3 hours a day on social media, you are 60, or our children, and that survey is talking about people under the age of 24. So if you're under the age of 24, you're a kid. But there is you are 62% more likely to commit suicide if you spend 3 hours or more a day on social media.
That's so
Think
heartbreaking.
about that. Think about that.
That's so heartbreaking.
You're only 38% away from being 100% likely to commit suicide.
Yeah.
You are more like, that's crazy.
That's insane. Holy cow. That's a big one.
I mean, think about it.
I mean, it just goes to show, though, that we are made for real human connection.
Yes, God made us. I mean, think about back to the garden. God made Adam, and then he saw that it wasn't enough, so he made Eve, and he made him a companion.
And as I get the online connections, I've got 2 guys that I game with probably almost every day, if not every other day. They live in London, though. I'm never going to meet these guys. They're like brothers. I mean, I get the connections that can be made, but it'll never replace hanging out with people in IRL, as the kids say.
Yeah, like the same thing. Like, I've got guys that I play New World with. One of them lives in South Georgia. One of them lives in Louisiana. Like the 2 guys who I play with the most. I'll probably never meet them. I mean, even though they're relatively close to us, I'll probably never meet them. But that doesn't we share a lot with each other, but that doesn't replace my wife. That doesn't replace you. That doesn't replace my friends. And I mean, Brandon, what do you think? Like, we've kind of been, I don't want to hammer too much on it because it's depressing, but
it really is. I mean, just the more I think about it, especially the ones that it's absolutely heartbreaking. And it's funny. I was thinking about it earlier when you said that, and again, I don't want to hammer too much on the statistics either, but you talked about how like over 40% of parents think that one of the biggest issues is social media. In one of the studies I was reading, over 40% of 8 to 12-year-olds have social media accounts. It's like, yeah, you think it's a big issue, but yet you're still.
And what is it like?
Why?
Almost 2/3 of kid social media users. I didn't write the study down, but almost 2/3 of kid social media users or adolescent social media users say that they're online all the time. Now think about that suicide rate in comparison to that.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's almost like the enemy is trying to kill us.
Yeah.
John 10:10.
Nearly 1 in 5 teens say they're online almost consistently.
Okay, 1 in 5, yeah. So,
yeah.
And then John 10:10 says the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Kill.
Yeah.
Kill. Like,
think about how many bad stories have we seen in schools started with online bullying.
Yep.
I remember because when I was in high school, we started getting picture phones, and only a few kids had them. But it did not take long at all before the moment one goofy kid got a picture of a girl, he sent it to everyone. And it immediately went south the moment we got our hands on that stuff.
Yep. And then, not only is there there's legal aspects that come in play with that. And because I work in the legal world, everything you post on social media is there forever.
Yep.
Even if you delete the account, you delete everything off the account. You delete everything off your computer. You burn your hard drive. There are ways to see everything you've ever done on a computer, and it is insane what you can see people do.
It's really crazy how bad it's gotten too. Like, my wife the other day put my phone number in on Google and basically was able to pull up pretty much everything about me.
Yep. Address, everything.
Yep. Address, knew exactly. I mean, you can find, my address. I just Googled it right there. My address is right there. Not only my current address, previous addresses.
Yep.
Yes. All of my information comes up.
Known associates.
Yeah. My ex-wife's name comes up sometimes.
My name's probably on there.
Not on this one, no. But yeah, I mean, it's It's my email, my old email's on here. It's not my current one, but my gosh, man.
Yep. Because it's all public record.
Yeah.
There's no privacy. Like, you may have a privacy setting on your social media, but there's nothing private about it. If you know how to work depending on what social media site it is, and you have privacy, like your privacy settings on
there
there,
you are.
you can
My gosh.
literally, like there's ways around privacy walls. So like, be careful what you're posting.
Dude, not only my information came up, Dad's information, his phone number, uncles. I mean, it's insane. You're right. People got to be careful what they post online. I'd never looked into it that much. Holy cow.
Yeah. That's a live reaction.
That's just from my phone number.
So on top of
changing my phone number tomorrow.
on top of the physical dangers of what you post on social media, there's also brain rot. And brain rot's not just a meme. I mean, it's a TikTok joke, but it's legit. 15-second videos, 30-second videos, 60-second videos. It's killing our attention spans. Why do you
kidding. Yeah.
Why do you think you can't hold a conversation anymore? Because you're just sitting there. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's sad. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's a whirlwind of emotions.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. What'd you say, honey? And then it hurts our attention span. It hurts our memories. It hurts our ability to talk to each other. It hurts our critical thinking. And, there's research out there now that says that it's literally changing our brain structure and shrinking gray matter, like the thinking parts of your brain. And it messes with the reward system and like the dopamine hits of real life. And, that's what we're talking about earlier with that numb feeling you get in your brain when you're scrolling social media or you play video games too long. Is because you're not having to do, like, we are designed to be doing. Like, God made us to do. And when social media is not doing, like,
I was going to say, I don't know about you, but I know for me, like, if I sit down and I play a game for too long or something, I get off sometimes and I'm like, I could have done so many other things. Like, my grass needs cut. My dishes could have been done. I'm now ordering dinner because it's too late because I don't feel like cooking anything.
Yep. I could have spent time with my spouse. I could have spent more time with my kids.
You don't feel refreshed when you spend hours and hours doing this stuff. No. And I'm not saying that you can't ever just take a day and just chill, but it shouldn't be every single day.
No. And, this is kind of like TMI, but whatever. There's
no telling where this is going with you.
So I remember in our grandparents' bathroom, Pop always had books.
Yeah.
And I catch myself when I'm in the bathroom scrolling my phone. So you know what I did? I put a book in the bathroom.
There you go.
Yep.
Pop had the silliest books in the bathroom too.
Oh, my book's not silly. It's a book about like the Hamas attack on Israel. But so like when I'm sitting on the throne, man.
Pops were goofy.
When I'm sitting on the throne, like I'm reading about some like really, really terrible things. So
I mean, you think about the joke, the meme, and here I go. Think about the meme. When it says you leave your phone and you go into the bathroom and you have to take a 90s poop and you're just sitting there like, well, now what do I do?
Yeah. Maybe I just poop.
Yeah, I guess I just poop and get out. Yep. This only took 2 minutes instead of 30.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I didn't wake up with my legs numb because I've been sitting here.
No, dude. Sometimes I sit down and it's like 10 seconds in and my legs are numb.
I mean,
Yeah.
The bathroom is a sanctuary. When we were kids and you were being you, I would take my G.I. Joes into the bathroom.
I know you did.
I mean, I've told this before, but
you're a turd.
I mean, it was, go in there and I'd be like, peace.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm using the bathroom.
My son uses the bathroom as I don't want to do my schoolwork.
Fair.
That kid
I get that one too.
That kid poops like 10 times in his 3-hour homeschool period. There's like 10 poops.
Oh, I gotta poop again.
Yeah, wow. And he thinks that we don't know, and it's like, dude, like.
We did the same thing.
Yeah.
We know.
And it's anyways. What does Romans 12 what does Romans 12:2 say in regards to
I was just sitting there looking at that. He talked about Romans 12:2. Be transformed by the renewal of your mind. That's why it's one of the reasons I try to unplug more often. And that app you were talking about, I just downloaded it. I'm going to start using it.
The first part, don't want to cut you off, but the first part of it says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. So,
sorry, I left off the first part. My bad.
You're good. But
yeah,
both of those are important. Do not be conformed to this world. What's the world doing? Spending in like insane amount of times on their phones. So
Yeah.
let's not do that, Christians. And then the transformed by the renewal of your mind, the world is constantly trying to shape our minds into not godly beings. So we have to
100%.
guide our minds and fix our eyes on Jesus. And Jesus is like, even if people are posting about Jesus on social media, you will not find the real God on social media.
I think the biggest mistake people can make, and I was guilty of it for a long time, my Bible reading all came from video clips instead of actually reading it myself.
Yes. And
And all of a sudden you start reading it for yourself and you start diving into some of the context and stuff, and it's like, this is not at all what I have been told this says.
yep. And I want to throw this out there too. I read sometimes, but I have read about 15 books this year because I do audiobooks. And I find that I retain information better if I do an audiobook. The
Yep.
Bible, there's nothing wrong with doing an audio version of the Bible if that's the way you're getting the Bible.
No, not at all. That's what I do.
And I mean, shoot, I walk around the house some mornings, like when the kids aren't awake or when I'm driving, and I've just got the Bible playing on my phone, and then I'll hear something like, ooh, and then I'll open up the Bible app and it follows along, and I can highlight the verse, save it, and use it on the podcast. And because, I mean, until recently, the majority of the world, like huge, probably like above 90% of the human population couldn't read. So they got their Bible reading through people who could read the Bible and would read it to them. So if that's how you need to listen to the Bible, you need to listen to it. But change your social media habits to opening the Bible. Dive into God's word and see what God's word says about situations. It says about just being alive. And and then like addiction, man. Like, humans are very susceptible to addiction, whether that's alcohol, sex, drugs, whatever it is. And then social media is the same way. Social media is designed to be addictive. It's designed to keep you in the app. It's designed to keep you like tied in. And I mean, like a casino, like you're like a drug dealer.
Isn't it so funny that the things that can become addictions the world tells us is okay? Think about like alcohol. If you don't drink alcohol, people are like,
What's
"What do you mean
wrong
you
with
don't
you?"
drink? What's wrong with you?" The whole like sex movement and stuff.
Like,
Have sex with anyone and everyone. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
how are you would you buy a car before you test drive it? Well, my wife is a living soul and is not a car.
Exactly.
The
Plus,
and if you're basing, to get into this, I should have mentioned this on the man episode, but if you're basing your marriage on the quality of sex that you're having, guess what?
it's not gonna last.
One, what are you going to do if your wife, who you're committed to spend eternity with, gets in a car wreck and no longer functions?
Yeah.
They're a vegetable. Are you going to leave them? I'm not going to.
Yeah.
My wife.
No.
My wife's not going to leave me. Because it's I mean, marriage is such a bigger commitment than just sex.
You know this as much as I do. Sex only gets better over time.
Yes. When you are with
One person and you can be open and connect with them on all levels.
it's just better.
Yeah.
Because their emotion gets involved, and it's just so God knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
God knew what he was doing.
Yeah. We won't go any deeper than that, but God knew what he was doing. Yeah. I mean, it's so true. I tell people that. I tell young people that sometimes, and they're like, "Nah, you're insane." I'm like, you'll know one day.
Yeah, at
You're
least I
gonna
hope you do.
experience it.
I
I hope you do.
Because
And it's yeah.
I mean,
Marriage is beautiful.
it is. It is. When it's done right, it's beautiful.
Yep.
And there's so much joy like outside of intimacy, and then you learn that intimacy is not just physical intimacy. I mean, before we came down and recorded the podcast, me, my wife, and my kids were on the couch playing Mario Party. I mean, that's an intimate moment. Like, we're all as a family doing something together, and it's sweet. Life is sweet when you are not tied to external things.
Yeah.
Colossians, go ahead.
I was just thinking about, you talked about how like your brother-in-law doesn't have social media. My wife doesn't have social media.
No, she doesn't, does she?
No, when we first met, she did. She now has a Facebook that she uses strictly to watch cat videos, and she's on it like a few minutes a day. But when I first met her, I was like, you don't have social media. You're my age.
What's
It seems
wrong
so
with you?
weird to me. But the way she sees the world is so much different.
So
And I think it's because she's not on social media.
I had a friend. He's still alive, but he moved out. I think he's in Utah now. But we worked together at a place I used to work, and he didn't have social media. And so instead of social media, he hiked the Appalachian Trail. He visited every single national park. He went on a 9-month car camping trip and went to every single state. New Zealand, ended up going to New Zealand, Australia, Hawaii, Alaska, spent some time in Canada, and just lived life.
Yeah.
And didn't worry about anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're getting over an hour.
We're good at that these days.
Yep, long-winded. Colossians 3:2. I'll wrap up with this. Colossians 3:2 says, "Set your minds on things above, not on things that are on the earth." And I've quoted that scripture all throughout this podcast, and that's what I want to end with: is set your minds on things that are above, not on things of this earth. So yeah, I would, and I got a challenge for everybody, but I want you to go ahead, and then I'll propose this challenge to our listeners.
Yeah, I want to hit Hebrews 10:24-25. And let us consider how we may spur one another towards love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are
Can you replace that, or can you repeat that?
and not, I know what part you want me to repeat, right? And not give up on meeting together
Meeting together.
as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. And I want to touch on it today at our, and this is why the in real life connection is so important. Today at our men's prayer at work, one of my coworkers I have no clue what's going on with him. He just said that he got some interesting information from a doctor. The guy who leads the prayers at the end got up, and we all laid hands and prayed on him. You can't do the laying of hands and praying if you're not in person with each other. And it was a beautiful moment to be a part of. And
could you imagine if Jesus' ministry had been over Skype? It'd never went anywhere.
Through the cloud.
It'd never went anywhere.
Yeah, it would have never done anything.
Oh, because real change happens in person.
Yep, we've got to get together. And that's why I think church is so important.
Yep.
And I remember there was a time when people were like, oh, you don't have to go to church to be a Christian. And you still hear people say that.
You absolutely. I will say, do you have to go to church to believe in Jesus? No. Do you have to go to church for your faith to grow to the point that you bear fruits of the Spirit? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I'm not saying, church is more than just a building, but videos don't cut it, man.
No. Church is anywhere where you and a group of fellow believers gather and praise Jesus.
And so here's the thing, like social media, I said I was going to close, but this just popped in my head and I want to say it. Social media can be a sounding board and an echo chamber.
Sometimes it becomes an echo chamber.
When you go online and you say, I'm depressed, everybody's going to say, oh no, what happened? And then you type it out and then they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you're going through this, blah, blah, blah. And it's not real, it's fake. But if go to Brandon's house and I say, I'm depressed and this is what I'm depressed about, by the time I'm done saying it, I'm usually over it. Because you get that human connection and you realize, hey, this problem is not that big.
Yep. Something interesting you talk about that. The podcast I like to listen to, John Deloney Show. If you go online and put your side of the story, you're eventually going to find people who are your sounding board. They cheer on what you did. You never actually get that in person where somebody looks at you and says, that ain't it, brother.
Yeah. Me and Brandon do this to each other all the time. We did it right before the podcast. He told me something and I was like, hey, I don't think that's a good idea. But it doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean he's right. Because it's not something that's consequential either way. It's just
No.
I shared my thoughts, and because we have a relationship with each other, a real relationship, not just because. So think about like your Discord friends, like for Destiny.
Mhm.
I mean, you're a good friend, so you probably would challenge them, but you're not going to challenge them like you're going to challenge me.
No, it's a different level because we you don't see each other's faces and stuff, so you
Yeah.
can't.
And you
It's
don't
not
want to.
just your faces; you don't see the body language.
You don't want to
It's
lose them.
no, I don't want to lose them. And I mean, there's times I've been like, "Whoa, brother, hold on now."
Yeah.
And I have challenged people online, but it's so much different. I definitely do it from a different perspective. And one of the things I want to say, I think so many people nowadays allow people's online opinions to affect how they decide they're going to do things, and man, you can't do that.
Nope.
I have my wife, you, and another friend of mine are the only three people I allow to speak into my life and to hurt my feelings. You guys are the only ones. And even then, I know the reason I allow you three to speak is because I know you're not doing it to try and hurt me or change me. You're doing it to try to better me.
Well, it might be to try to change you, but for the better.
Yes, it's trying
Yeah.
to better me. Yeah, and I mean, I think we've gotten to a point now where so many people just allow anyone and everyone to hurt their feelings, to upset them,
Yep.
to change the way they look at the world.
So, yeah. Now, there's one social media that we didn't touch on at all. And I'm going to just sum it up, and that's all we're going to say about it. Reddit is a cancer to the human race.
Don't take Reddit from me. No, I'm just kidding. Reddit's awful.
Oh my gosh, it's
Reddit
so bad.
And I am so guilty of getting on there and being like, no, wait a minute.
Mhm.
But man, Reddit can be a cesspool, as we have said in the past.
Yes, it is.
And this is nothing against people on Reddit. We love all you guys, but
nope. I mean, I'm on
So-
Reddit, but it's
yeah. But it's so much.
the
it's
majority
crazy.
of Reddit users are in their whitey tidies in their mom's basement.
Yeah, and it's funny to me how many people allow their opinion to be changed because of a Reddit thread.
So let's do this. We're at an hour and almost 10 minutes, so let's close. My challenge to everybody listening is to one, download that app that we talked about, Screen
Yes.
Zen. Brandon will link it in the show notes. And then two, I want you to take a 24-hour fast, not just from social media, but from your phone, except for like, I need to talk to somebody.
You know somebody's heart is going to
Oh,
the
yeah.
moment you say yeah.
Like, Brandon, you mentioned it when we did our like pre-trial of this episode when we were both not feeling it. Take your phone, set it away from you, and if you get that itch to grab it, you got a problem.
Yeah, our pastor talks about that. Like, you put your phone down, and your immediate thought is, "Oh my God, what am I missing?" Or I need to post something so the world knows I'm here. Here's your sign, as they used to say. And you know, I'm with you. I'm all for it. I say
Let's do it.
24-hour social media fast. Step back, pray, and ask, "What's in my heart when I open this app?"
You can
And-
actually, that screen's in, you can get it to ask you custom questions. So you could literally, before it allows you to open an app, you can make it ask you, why are you opening this? What are you
Yeah.
looking for? Can this be found somewhere else? I love it.
Yep.
It's awesome.
It,
And
you know,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, I don't know if we've already said this first or not, but Philippians 4:8, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, think about such things.
Well, guys, that was the Spivey Show, social media. I don't know what we're talking about next week. Brandon, you got any ideas?
I kind of want to touch on how Christians should conduct themselves.
Okay.
I think that would be an interesting one because I'm pretty sure I'm guilty of not doing what I'm supposed to do. I
Okay.
know I'm guilty. But
And a good point to mention is the things me and Brandon talk about on this, we're not perfect. We are not
Lord,
not
no.
scholars. We are not we are sinful men who are trying to live a perfect life like Christ calls us to do. So just keep that in mind. We mess up. We do dumb things. We may misquote stats. We may misspeak, and the point that we're trying to get across doesn't come across right. But all of this is coming from a place of trying to guide people back to Christ and a Christ-centered life.
Yep.
And then also American, we'll occasionally touch on American lifestyle and politics and all of that. I think starting next week we're going to be including like major news, not from a like not trying to be Fox News or CNN or whatever, but just trying to be there's some big things happening in the world, and we want to see what the Bible says about them. So we're gonna like kind of break it up, probably do like 30 or like 10 minutes of hey, this is what's happening in the world right now, and then 10 minutes or then like 50 minutes of the regular podcast. We'll probably put that at the end.
Yeah,
but or maybe even do like just a separate episode.
Kind of like the old pastors used to do. Anytime there was like a new law or something, they would go to the Bible and talk about what it was, how the Bible viewed it.
So now that was the Spivey Show social media episode. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, fantastic week. Brandon's clutching his chest. I think he's having a heart attack. No, I know.
Oh, no. I was just getting ready to do my outro because I always do this when I go to do it.
I am Aaron.
I'm Brandon. And I love you. Jesus loves you. God bless.